Brought to you by businessblueprint.com.au.
So right now you need to remember that if you aren't driving and you haven't got 100% certainty, anything less than 100% certain in anything else is self-doubt, isn't it? And you might say, but I operate at about 99% of productivity, 99% of purpose, 99% of passion. Well, what's the 1%? Is it self-doubt? Is it excuses? Is it frustration? Is it fear? Okay? Because all those excuses take 100% of your attention. Okay? So moving into how we attract what we want and how did I become a 7 times world champion? My greatest asset was my mind. I could just get in that zone very quickly. You know that zone that athletes have, right? And it's all about utilising your I call it a GPS because it's a lot easier. A reticular activating system, which we all have in our brainstem, okay? It's faster than a Jag and it's more stylish than a Ferrari, okay? And it gets you from A to B, what you want, in the quickest amount of time. Who'd like that? Okay, but I call it your GPS because who's in control of that GPS? Yeah, absolutely. That's that programming. And what happens is it finds it fast for you. So you don't have to consciously be thinking about it all the time because it's deep within your unconscious. It's what will find what's wanted, what's needed, what's important. Now, this little girl used to go bouncing through the gates with this big smile and my coach would go, oh God, here she comes. Oh no, and she's still smiling, she still likes it. And, you know, I'd go bouncing through, but I would literally drag one leg behind the other. And at 12 years of age, I got diagnosed as disabled. Anybody being labelled in their life? You'll never be any good at because. And I had scoliosis, was put in a steel brace. I spent over 2,000 days of my life. Max Walker, who did the forward in my book, Dangerous When Wet, he said, Cheryl, that worked out. Year 7 to year 12, that was 2,000 days. Where my mother would literally put her foot in the middle of my back and strap me in every morning. Whether I went swimming or had a shower, she had to strap me in. But the interesting thing was, when they found out I had scoliosis when I was all those years ago, they decided they wanted to fuse my spine. Now, the one thing I love about in life is swimming. Who are the people that understand that? Who loves swimming? Okay, who'd love to love swimming? Yeah. And it's interesting because, you know, regardless of me being so bad, the only reason I started swimming was because my sister was an asthmatic. And I went along to keep her company, did the big sister thing, and she had to do it and loathed it. Okay, some of you might have had that feeling because that's what happened at school when you had to go swimming, right? You loathed it so much. So anyway, you know, they were sitting down with the doctor and the doctor says, right, we need to fuse your spine. Well, what was that going to stop me from being able to do that I loved more than anything else? Swim. Now, I don't know about you, but I learned at a very age, I was prepared to do whatever it took. And I learned that from my mother and father, who were hardworking. Dad was a cop, mum was a barmaid. She had her own bar, and they worked shift work. We never went without. I always had choices. So very early age, these champion habits were rubbing off on me that ended up becoming rituals. And one of them was negotiating. I thought, well, if they're going to fuse my spine, I'm not going to get to do what I want with my life, which is swim. So I did a deal, and I said, I'll do whatever it takes. Please don't fuse my spine. They ended up allowing me to, you know, they created this steel brace and I wore that for 2,000 days. So literally I would get to the pool, they started with say, take your marks, and I'd be down trying to get it together, you know, and I'd be last off the blocks. And I'd swim like crazy to the end and I hit the lane rope, I come off the tumble turn. Who does that? Well, yeah, a few of you there. And I'd, you know, end 4th, 5th, and I was so frustrated because I thought, darn. And I'd say to my coach, would you stay behind with me in the morning and help me, you know, with my dives? I just want to go with everybody else. And he looked at me, you know that look? God, is it really worth it? Bang, he said yes. I said, coach, would you stay behind me on a Saturday morning? Everybody's gone home for the week and help me with my tumble turns. I want to tumble on that tee and come down that black line instead of hitting the lane up. Would you help me? You know, that look. God, is it really worth it? But bang, he said yes. So fast forward to 1991 and I'm getting ready to the World Championships and I'm sitting down with my sports psychologist and I'm going for this gold medal, which evidently looks silver. Kids say it looks silver. When I go to the schools, the kids think it looks silver and I said, no, it's just all, when I hand it round, it's just all the gold that's rubbed off. But what's really interesting, I'm sitting there with my sports psychologist and he's saying, Shell, how's your preparation going? I'm going, I'm ready for it. Bring it on. Gold medal's mine. He said, you got no doubts? You got no fears? No? You sure? Don't you love what people ask you? You sure? And I'm going, okay, those bloody jellyfish. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I said, well, those big brown ones out there, the size of the old dustbin lids. And I've got tentacles about 1 metre long and I'm out there powering along, bang, bang, and pulling my bathers down, pulling them out, my jellyfish, putting everything else back in, pulling my bathers up and off I go, bang, there's another one. I said, you know what, they are bloody annoying. And he goes, that's interesting. I said, interesting? They're not the only problem out there. Have you ever noticed when you start to think of a problem, another one pops up? I said, these little clear ones. And he goes, what's the problem with them? I said, well, being a female, they get stuck in some places. And I said, you don't have time in the middle of World Championship to pull your hand down, pull out your stingers, and put everything back in and keep going. And he rubs his hands. I said, but no, it gets worse. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, they're in there, I can't get them out. It's like an electric shock over and over and over through my body. He starts rubbing his hands. He looks really excited. He said, we're going to make them your friends. I thought, this will be bloody extraordinary. This will be interesting. He says, how many big brown ones are there out there? I said, I don't know. There's millions probably. He said, great. Every time you bump into one, I want you to think them that they're on your team. They're your supporters. They're your friends cheering you on. I'm like, right. And he said, these little stingers. He said, this is going to be a really tough ask. Are you ready to get out of your comfort zone? Are you guys ready to get out of your comfort zone in this business? And he said, right, are you ready? And I went, yeah. He goes, no, there's no certainty. I said, yeah, I'll do whatever it takes. Notice how from a young child I had been prepared to do whatever it took to achieve what I wanted. It wasn't about the gold medal. It was about being the best I could be and getting the best out of Shelley Taylor-Smith. So when he said to me, are you ready to step up? I said, yeah, bring it on. He said, right, these stingers, every time they sting you, I want you to imagine they're showing you their affection. They're actually kissing you. And I'm thinking, right, I've had better kisses. Actually, I've had worse. So, I'm getting down at that Swan River and I'm pumping this new mindset. Negative to positive, obstacle to opportunity. You've heard all that, right? And, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? Plan to fail to plan. Everything I'm sharing with you today is simple keys and habits and rituals that I've embraced in my life, not at one time in my life, not on a day when I had to, and that's how you become walking like a champion. So I got down there and I'm pumping this new mindset and I went, boy, that was a lousy kiss, mate, can't you do better than that, And slowly, I didn't see the big brown ones and I didn't feel the stings. And it was interesting because the Germans were down there and this was 6'5" Italian who won the silver medal was on the foreshore going, I'm not going to go there, and went and trained at Beatty Park Pool. And the Germans, I saw them at around Matilda Bay, they got out, picked up their tinny, put it on the side and thumbed a ride along the freeway in peak hour traffic one morning. And they said, we're going to come back on race day. How well do you think they were going to deal with it on race day?
Brought to you by businessblueprint.com.au.